Tenchu is a series has always presented a more grounded interpretation of ninjas, with its heavy emphasis on stealth setting it apart from its contemporaries. Now the series that helped establish the 3D stealth genre has fallen into the shadows. After 2 strong PS1 games and some solid PS2 outings, the franchise got a few lukewarm spin-offs before a forced mainline entry on the Wii in 2009, which was so bad the IP has been sealed since. That's why today I brought 3 shinobi in training to my dojo to see if any of them can break FromSoft's ninjutsu seal. Welcome to Armchair Devs Tenchu. Welcome to Armchair Devs. I'm your host, Ninja Master Bob VideoGames, and today I'm taking 3 pitches from our contestants. Danji Maru from GigaBoots.com.
My pitch will be so good it's like Tenchu 2 traveled into the future and reappeared as a good franchise.
Feelske from Mr. Feels Wild Ride on Twitter.
I will not just redefine Tenchu, but the very concept of Armchair Devs.
In Katana Z Sugoi from kzexcellent.com.
.to-bio.
All right, first thing first, gentlemen. I'm going to need a 30-second elevator pitch from each of you. All right, feel you're up first. I'll start the timer as soon as you start talking.
Tenchu is a difficult series to revive. Known by few players and beloved by less than that, there's only one way to revive Tenchu and give it new mind share. Brand power. Crossing Tenchu over with the most popular ninja franchise in gaming and producing a new delightful experience. That game is Senran Kagura, Divine Retribution.
Jesus Christ. Right. It's like mixing peanut butter with shitty peanut butter. What was the name of your game, Feel?
Senran Kagura, Divine Retribution. Translator's note, Divine Retribution means Tenchu.
All right, KZ, you're up next. As soon as you start talking, I'll start the timer.
We live in a world where Sekiro Shadows Die Twice comes out to critical acclaim and good sales, which shows there is an audience for cool games with ninjas and stealth elements. With my pitch entitled Tenchu Darkside, you'll explore and battle your way through a very familiar and iconic world from the shadows as you take on the role of the newest member of your clan's elite ninja squad.
And that's time. Like, by a lot. I think you have like 10 seconds there.
Some things don't take a long time to explain, like the instructions for a Hot Pocket, you know?
I also got next to nothing. All right. Tenchu Darkside. Sounds great. Shadows. Okay.
Don't worry, you just need to enter the shadows to find what truly lies beneath.
All right, Dan, you're up next. You know the gig.
Before I start, I'm going to say that only a coward would back down now. Tenchu Divine Retribution will be a AA game powered by Unreal Engine 4. It'll have a moderate-sized campaign with deep hooks into the lore of Tenchu, told in a way that won't alienate newcomers. It plays to the strengths of Tenchu's origin by having a deep focus on its robust level creator and online multiplayer modes based around it. Are you ready to fight for and protect your lord against the other lords in an online innovative mode, Lordly Conquest mode? You better believe it.
In time. Okay, I got Lordly Conquest. I'm excited. Now it's time for the first round of questions. First question, KZ, you're up.
Hello.
Tell me, what does Darkside mean? Is he the DC guy?
Okay, you are asking for Darkside, the subtitle. Damn. Shit.
Oh no, you didn't plan for this?
Like, out of all the questions, do you have to reveal it now? Darkside was me looking up the meaning of a word. The word being Anbu, which is an elite group of ninjas in the Naruto universe.
Yes. Okay. Anything
Now,
else?
this may color your perception of what I meant when I said you will be exploring an iconic and familiar world as a ninja.
Okay. All right. In the Naruto universe, got it.
I feel like, not to tell you what to do, because of course you're running this show, but I think it would be interesting to ask all three contestants what their subtitles mean. I just don't get feels.
It's his main title that worries me more than his subtitle was Feel.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, Feel. You're up.
Yes.
Which of the Senran Kagura girls can I expect to show up in this game?
Well, the playable characters from Senran Kagura will be Asuka, Homura, and Yumi. The other girls will not technically be in the game, however, their ancestors will appear in the game as various bosses and antagonists.
Okay. All right. I guess that can work. I guess it's not terrible. I mean, hopefully you don't kill them. That becomes weird. Because you usually...
Oh, no, don't worry. All sense of lethality will be stripped from this game.
Oh! Jesus Christ. All right. I'm getting some interesting information here. Thank you, Feel. Dan.
Yeah.
I need you to tell me something enjoyable from your game, so I'm going to try and do an easy one here.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a dev studio in mind for your game?
Actually, I do. See, since we're going for a AA game and it's going to be using Unreal Engine 4, I thought using a studio that's used to having a smaller budget but doing a thoroughly polished and satisfying product would be a pretty good choice. And I went with something a little unorthodox because I think their rate will be a little bit lower, so we'll let them, bake it as long as it needs to bake in the oven. The studio I'm thinking of is Tosa, which does a lot of things uncredited, but they actually developed all of Resident Evil Revelations for the 3DS. They're the ones who ported Breath of the Wild to the Switch. They've actually done a lot of under the table sort of work for Capcom and Square Enix and other companies, including every port of Chrono Trigger, weirdly enough. I think given their more recent experience of dealing with games, creating games, porting games, and etc. that involve really nice fidelity 3D graphics and physics, they'll actually be a pretty good fit for what I'm going for here.
All right. That's encouraging. It's not stabbing me yet. Okay.
I'm gonna hire people who are off the drugs. They show up on time for their shift. Oh man, I could have just gone that low, huh?
Yes.
I could have just not even named a studio.
Do you have a director in mind, or is it just going to be whatever they can muster?
Whatever they can muster.
Okay.
No, I'm just laughing at the question. We do not have any flashy directors in mind. We're probably gonna get somebody who's over at Tose with oversight from as little oversight as possible from Soft, the owner of the Tenchu IP. I think I would rather let a director over at Tose handle it.
That's fair. I understand that.
Thank you for your question, sir.
Okay. Now I have to look at these other ones. This is trying times.
What? What are you talking about? Mine's great.
I mean, KZ's leaves so much in the air. I don't know what it could be.
Don't worry, Bob. Any question you have, I have an answer for.
Good.
I mean, if you need more knowledge about my game, just ask things that will give you knowledge. I wrote an absurd amount about my video game.
Okay, Feel. I need to know. What is the structure of your game? Is it still a stealth action game? Is it more focused on the combos we see in the Senran Kagura series? What do we have?
Senran Kagura Divine Retribution is a game continuing both the mechanics and story of the Tenchu franchise.
Oh.
It is mission-based, stealth action switches to a bit more action-focused for boss fights.
Okay. That seems fine. Okay. KZ. No, not that KZ. That would be the same order again. Okay, Dan.
Oh, okay. Hi. Hello.
You mentioned physics in your
Yes.
previous one.
Yes.
Is there a heavy focus on that in your level creator? Will we be able to actually set things up to do physically based traps?
Yes. In fact, we're going to include every single feature from Tenchu 2, not limited to, but including terrain deformation, enemy scout path design, and the different aesthetic themes for the level, like castles, beach, mountain, cave, etc. But we're going to be designing to have much more advanced features. Like there's going to be, like, rivers will flow, and that can affect things. You can throw things in the water, and it'll carry it downstream. We're going to have environmental magic, which will have interesting ways of affecting physics. And then we'll also have more advanced mechanical traps that redefine the terrain. So an example of a mechanical trap is, and this really plays into the physics here, we have fully rotating hallways is a thing you can do. So it'll start doing an axial roll, and as you travel through, you have to make sure to not fall onto the spike ceiling, which is now the floor. We have, of course, walls that can crush people and ceilings that can crush people, but the environmental magic actually affects the physics even more, because you can have proximity triggers or panels, if you want to be that basic, to trigger supernatural magic, environmental magic. So it'll start rain or powerful winds, or a blazing heat wave that will, scorch you if you're not taking cover. It'll do a damage over time, and your friction on the ground will change based on what the terrain is and whether or not it's wet. So between the powerful wind and that, the physics are actually affecting it a lot. I think that is important, given that the original combat of Tenchu, especially like Tenchu 1 and 2, is slower and more deliberate.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. That's a lot of things that seem like they're properly building out that level creator. Exciting. All right. Now, KZ.
Yes.
What era of the Naruto universe does this take in place in? Is this Boruto? Is this before the Chunin exams?
Please say it doesn't take place in Naruto universe.
Okay, so I'm really glad you asked, Bob.
Oh my God.
So we were always thinking about where would this fit the best. And after a lot of thought, we said, we haven't mined too much out of the Boruto universe yet.
I'm gonna
That
fucking
brand
kill myself.
It's still ongoing with its anime, that other game that exists that we aren't talking about. So we've decided for it to exist there. That being said, as this is a game where you take the role of a member of the Anbu Black Ops, a secret organization that does things from the shadows, it doesn't deal with a lot of the main plot of that universe. It can basically be its own thing and be a perfect way to jump in to the franchise that is Naruto/Boruto.
So, am I understanding this right? Does this have nothing to do with the Tenchu universe? So it's completely separate, just uses mechanics like Tenchu?
The goal was to take gameplay and the idea of Tenchu and attach it to our brand here at Bandai Namco.
All right. Well, next thing, I have asked all of you to prepare a ninja tool and a villain for your series.
Oh, good.
So we'll have those. Let's see who will go first. Let's do KZ first.
Okay, am I starting with the tool?
Actually, let's start with the villain. I feel like that'll really set precedence for the universe.
Okay. Now then, So, throughout my story, you'll be seeing mysterious people working in the background. A new, evil rogue ninja organization will rear their head, and my villain is, of course, the leader of that. This is Katame. Katame meaning one eye.
Are you sure he's not from Earthbound?
He looks to be blocking my path. Okay.
You motherfucker! I know it. God damn it!
Now he is a master of illusions and genjutsu. He has a mysterious mask.
Is he from a Sentai show?
No,
Okay.
no. There's no Sentai related stuff going on in the Naruto series. That's more of a Bleach thing.
Oh, okay.
The Bleach did that for a little bit. I'm sure Dan will love that. But this is the mysterious leader of this organization. He works more with illusions. You will see him various points throughout the game, but it's more of you see him out the corner of your eye, that type of thing. There will be a couple of sequences throughout the game where he will put you under his genjutsu, his illusions, that will lead to more quirky and bad trip style levels, which should be interesting.
Okay, yeah, he's very exciting. He right up there with Orochimaru and Onikage. He's just definitely fits right in. What's your ninja tool?
Okay, so ninja tools I thought would be interesting because with my game, ninja tools will typically be like, oh, this is good for combat. This is good to get out of specific situations. But you can combine various jutsus to ninja tools in this game to give yourself the edge. So here's my tool that comes in a pair. This is the Mist Idol and Blade.
Okay.
So how this works, right, is you're going through a mission in the game, and if you use the Mist Blade against an enemy, you can trigger this as you're getting the killing blow, either from doing a stealth kill, or maybe you were noticed and you're just combating them normally. You will stab them, and that will give you a charge. From here, at any point, you can pull out your Mist Idol, and using up some of your energy for a jutsu, you stab it into the idol. The idol's mouth opens and shoots out a mist that then transforms into the person you killed. And from there, you can control that person and run them around a part of the area. As they are part of the enemies, they won't really react to them unless you go out and go places you're not supposed to go, or you try to engage combat with them. If they are attacked, they will just dissipate into mist.
Okay, so it's they look just like the other guys. They don't look misty until they're attacked.
Yes, they're basically, you're turning a clone made of mist that you will be able to control. It'll allow you to maybe go into a room that you would find to be difficult to get into and pick something up, maybe a key of some sort. It's a good way to survey areas that you can't really see just yet. And as you upgrade this tool in its skill tree, you'll get better range and more control over your clone.
So do you just switch to fully control it and just walk around where you want?
Yeah,
and there's like in a limited ring or something?
You will basically activate it when you're within cover, so you aren't like immediately noticed as you activate it. And then you're given a large area of effect that it can travel. As you upgrade it, you'll be given more of a playground to use it. Like the range will increase alongside other boosts.
Okay, and since this is a Naruto thing, I have to know, does this have anything to do with your main character's bloodline abilities?
No.
Okay.
This is just an ancient ninja relic.
Sure. All right. I mean, that sounds neat. That's cool. All right. Let's see. Let's do Dan next. What is your villain, Dan?
Okay, so fans of the Tenchu franchise know that in Tenchu 2, which is the earliest point in the franchise, there was an order called the Burning Dawn, which was trying to overthrow the Lord so that way ninjas could live for themselves and not have an overlord. Kind of like, Militaire Sans Frontier or whatever, trying to be a military without a nation.
Diamond Dog.
So the head of this is going to be my returning villain, but she is completely redesigned, and there is an interesting way she's integrated. Let me go ahead and put that up there so that way you guys can see Lady Kagami resurrected. She she has been brought back from the dead by a fanatical disciple of hers, a lieutenant, whose name is Tosei. See, we're sneaking in the credit for the developer right there. But it has an I, so it's slightly different. Tosei is a lieutenant who has gathered at the very beginning of the game very powerful relics that will give him the ability to reverse death. Upon returning in her more ogre-like form, Lady Kagami is immediately disturbed that someone else gave her the gift of life, which she thought they would think makes them superior to her, so she immediately kills Lieutenant Tosei. As you can see, in the evil magic that brought her back gave her hooves.
Okay, I was gonna ask.
And metal teeth.
I was wondering about this. She looked like an iconic character that was in Return of the Jedi.
Now you may not understand what's going on here with her hair. It is a completely different art style. She's evil now, so she thought she would make her hair look even shittier than before. So she's going with the meatball thing instead of doing the cowlick thing. She decided to mix it up a bit. And she also has even less decency than before, which is why she's dressed like this. That actually has nothing to do with the ritual of bringing her back. She's just completely unethical. So instead of dressing with clothes, she has dressed with ninja shuriken.
This seems dangerous.
Oh.
This seems very dangerous.
Very raw.
She lives on the edge. This is. You need to understand that in her mind, she has been brought back to have her divine retribution.
So,
this can only be realized on Unreal Engine 4.
Yes, absolutely. In fact, and as a small note, as a part of the resurrection ceremony, unbeknownst to her, Tosei also resurrected Tatsumaru before her to serve her, but she doesn't know, so she kills Tosei and just leaves. So Tatsumaru's back too.
okay, does he have hooves?
No.
Okay.
For some reason, he's perfectly fine.
The way this art looks, are they like horse hooves, or does she just basically not have hands or feet, and she uses pegs?
She has like horse hooves.
Okay. I understand artistic limitations.
Yeah, obviously this design is negotiable. I feel like the artists at Tosei might be able to do a little bit better than this, but this is just laying the groundbreaking, blueprint for this character.
The theme of this design is bravery.
Yes.
I have a lot of questions.
Okay.
Mostly regarding are her whole arms and legs like horses, so she could actually use all 4 feet, or
oh no, it's all perfectly normal, man. Every last part of her, but her hands and feet are hooves.
Oh, okay. Doesn't sound like a very fierce opponent. I don't feel like she can hold anything.
Oh, she's really powerful.
Okay.
She has the strength of like 5 gorillas.
It's a lot of strength. Okay, show me your ninja tool.
Okay, so as I said before, physics play a lot into our game. Tenchu Divine Retribution is going to use cutting-edge physics to make it more cool, give you a lot more creativity in how you kill enemies. I'm presenting to you my ninja tool for Tenchu Divine Retribution. So this tool is called the Ninja Liu Bei. Now, the Ninja Liu Bei makes the ground very slick, and if you throw it on the ground in front of an enemy, they will literally slip and fall onto the ground. Now, depending on the type of ground you're on, whether it's wood or some other material, it'll hurt them more or less. Wood being the weakest, a fucking rock being the most painful. So they'll just fall on their ass, and keep in mind, physics are simulated, so you could throw this on the ledge of a building, and when they run up to it, they will slip and fly off the castle or whatever. Another thing that's important, if the enemy is prone on their back after being 3-hit comboed, and they're lying on the ground, you can actually throw the Ninja Lube on them, And it'll just affect their physics when it comes to traction. So they'll like their feet will run faster than they're moving, so it'll start to look a lot like Tenchu 3. And that's what that'll do to them. So it's still useful, even if not to do direct damage, because it makes it harder for your enemy to pursue you.
I have to know, will there be any zany sound effects as they slip on this?
Only if they fly off a building.
Okay. At least there's something.
And also, I'd like to know, if you throw it on sand, it does nothing, but it makes the sand look weird. Because it would do nothing to sand. There you go.
Okay.
It's a very useful, dynamic, physics-oriented ninja tool.
Yeah, it seems like it'll have a lot of uses in your game.
Yes.
All right. Exciting. Could do anything with this. Feel? I'm gonna need to see a villain for you.
All right. Now, this character needs a little bit of explaining. At first, the Shinran Kagura characters are sucked back in time by the villain of the franchise, Lord Mayo.
Okay.
You see, they accidentally unseal him from a ninja scroll, in one of their family like heirlooms.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, I'm going to go back in time and undo my defeat. And they all get pulled back in time with him. So early in the game, you meet this character who is implied to be the new version of Onikage, because he has the Hanya mask and such. But this is not Onikage. After the first battle, you deal battle damage to them, and it is revealed they are a girl, and their name is Honeykage, and they are actually the ancestor of Murakumo from the Shinran Kagura series.
Okay. This sounds legit. I need to know, is this your main villain or is this a side villain?
The Virgil of the game will be this character.
Okay.
But the true villain will be Lord Mayo.
That all adds up. That fits in the timeline of both the Tenchu universe and the Shinran Kagura universe. I see how this can work.
Thank goodness.
What is your ninja tool?
This is the clockwork tickle hand.
I'm out.
Jesus Christ.
If you need to distract a guard, who of course there are no male characters in this game whatsoever except for Lord Mayo. You throw down the shinobi, the clockwork tickle hand, and it will distract the guard so you can sneak past.
I guess that's better than it only being available in the dressing room, but
That's good. You can do that, and then you can kill the guard, right?
Or do you tickle them and then they pass out? Is that how you deal?
Oh, no, they just pass out.
Okay. So after you do a stealth kill, this is going too far. I shouldn't ask any of this.
Well, you see, stealth kills will all be non-lethal, of course. They just get bopped and they fall down.
Okay, I figured they would tear their clothes off and they'd pass out.
Oh no, you see, if you fill the Tenchu meter, the divine retribution meter, you can use a unique super takedown that might be from a long distance or an AoE, and it will eliminate them and strip most of their clothes off. And each boss will have a unique animation if you beat them with the divine retribution move.
What if you tickle them?
Then you just get the normal one.
Oh, okay. All right. There's certainly some things here. Let me see what the next part is.
I thought your villain was a sunburnt beetle.
Now is the portion where everyone gets to tell me one thing about the game they really want to get off their chest. So, first up is KZ. What have you not been able to tell me about your game, KZ? Change my mind.
I guess it would be general structure for how the game will work. Basically, you'll have your base, your hub. This is where you can accept your missions that both are split into main and side missions. And upon accepting them, you go into that specific zone to initiate this mission, which could be a variety of things, whether it's a assassinating someone, retrieving something, rescuing someone. And of course, there will be side objectives and additional achievements that you could achieve throughout that mission, depending on your performance. That will all give you chakra points at the end that you can then put into your skill tree upon completing these missions to then make yourself stronger.
All right.
Little bits of story will be distributed throughout the main missions.
Sounds like good stuff. Very traditional structure, but tested.
Yes.
Proven.
Yeah. The focus was making something you can drop in, drop out, be fun, trying to make all of these self-contained, but as you play, you'll slowly understand how everything actually is connected as you get further along.
All right. Dan, tell me one thing you haven't been able to about your game.
There's so many great things about my game. It's a little difficult to choose just one, but I'll go ahead and tell you the composer. So, what we're doing is we want to keep true to the spirit of Tenchu having very traditional sounding orchestral music mixed with high octane rock. And we also want to bring in strong force, that feeling of Japan. So our composer for our game is going to be the Yoshida brothers, known for their shamisen music, which half of it is more traditional, and their high octane shamisen rock fusions, which will provide great music for the intro, for cinematics, and for upbeat boss battle. I think they're going to do a great job. We're going to get them to do a completely original soundtrack for this, and it should be able to cover the full gamut of calm, tense, and high-octane action that you really want in a Tenchu game.
All right, Yoshida Brothers, good choice. It's been a long time since I heard that name. All right. Phil, what's the one thing you haven't been able to tell me about your amazing Senran Kagura pitch?
Now, you might think that the Senran Kagura characters are the only playable characters in this game, but you'd be wrong. There are 2 additional playable characters. One of them is, of course, Ayane.
Okay.
And the other, since Rikimaru has been kidnapped and is unavailable for this game, his younger sister, Kikimaru, will also be a playable character who looks very much like him, just is a girl.
Do you mean Ayame, or is Ayane from the Dead or Alive series coming over?
I mean Ayame.
Okay. Got it. I was really afraid that the 2 characters were going to be Shmiki Tosin. All right, now you guys get to ask each other questions. I'll let Dan have the honors of taking the first questions.
Thank you. KZ, first question. Is Rock motherfucking Lee in your game?
Now, our focus for this game was we had to question how many familiar characters were we going to put into this game.
Mm-hmm.
It's like we the idea of putting in, say, Naruto or Boruto, for example, might be leaning a little bit too hard.
Mm-hmm.
But some of the second string characters that people like would be a good idea. So when it comes to Rock Lee, yes, you will actually accept a side mission for him, in which you must retrieve the kidnapped Might Guy, his sensei. Because as this is in the Boruto universe, it's been a long time since the end of Naruto.
Yes.
And he is retired,
mm-hmm.
also not doing too well,
mm-hmm.
and was kidnapped by some some rogue ninjas. So you'll have to retrieve him along with taking them out.
I see.
So there will be a little bit of that, and there will be a small mini boss fight in which you'll see Rock Lee do a cool thing by the end.
That's important. That's good to know.
You will see him take off a couple of weights.
Oh, that's what I want to hear. Mr. Feel.
Yes.
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm struggling. I am struggling so hard. But will there be a bonus level, mode, or item you get in your game for divine retributioning every boss?
Yes. Every boss will give you a different costume for one of the characters if you successfully use divine retribution on them.
Oh, fucking course. Thank you, Mr. Feel. I'm done with the questions.
All right. Feel, now it's your chance to stab them with your questions.
Ah!
Now, KZ,
Ah!
will your game have a chakra system, and how will it function?
I'm so glad you asked. So, as I mentioned previously, Chakra is it's a staple of the Naruto franchise. As you complete main missions, you'll be getting Chakra points. Your skill tree will look like a diagram of your body and the various Chakra points within. And through it, the skill tree will just look like various nodes across your body. You'll be able to invest in making your strength better, improve various different stats. It also will allow you to adjust the Chakra points of various weapons and ninja tools. So your ninja tools, like the one I showed earlier of the Mist Idol, or your main weapons like the katana, the kasarigama, the hatchet. You'll be able to upgrade those as well as upgrade your character. When it comes to like using these specific skills, as in like a chakra meter, you will have that. It will regenerate over time. We're not really focused on there being huge resource management with it, just because we don't want this to be Sekiro.
Oh, good to know. Now, Dan, what other characters have been redesigned? Can we expect similar redesigns to your villain?
A lot of our other redesigns are a bit more traditional. One of the more interesting parts is for once Ayame's outfit will be completely covering, so no midriff, no nothing else, and it will be more intimidating in its design than ever. It will, of course, still be kind of black and stealthy, and it won't be overly showy, but it also won't... She will be closer to a visual intimidation tier that, say, Rikimaru is at. So to answer your question, no one else is radically redesigned because no one else died and was brought back by magic, except for Tatsumaru. But we have an explanation for that.
All right. Now, KZ is up. Ask away.
All right, so Phil,
Yes.
for your Senran Kagura game, I have to know. When I look at that, I know nothing about the Senran Kagura series except honkers, and I look at it and I see anime. So I have to ask, for your intro, who is animating it, and who will be the musical artist performing the theme song?
Well, for the studio was a difficult choice to go with, because there's a lot of, good options. But I decided that Animation Studio Artland, who did the anime of Senran Kagura, would of course do the intro. And of course, we would be paying an exorbitant fee to get Jam Project to do the opening theme.
Oh, good. Because when I think of Jam Project, I think titties.
I'm going to need a little clarification. What is Jam Project?
Oh, you were thinking they do a lot of theme songs for mecha shows. You may remember them from the One Punch Man theme song.
Oh, okay. All right. Sounds great.
They make some good songs. I have to wonder how the visuals look matched with them. Given their Dan.
Yes.
This is very important when it comes to Tenchu. Performances, like voice acting, can be critical at really getting people into the story of a game. And good performances need to match that. Will you be bringing back the voice cast from the original Tenchu on the PlayStation 1?
We will not, because a lot of the absurdity of that game's voice acting actually comes from some people are trying really hard to pronounce the Japanese names well, and other people don't begin to have a clue how to say the names. So we will not be bringing them back, so that way we can have a consistent sort of delivery. Unfortunately, nothing ruins the immersion like having 5 different ways to say Tatsumaru. And
Tatsumaru?
Goda versus Goda
That isn't
versus Gouda.
I love Gouda.
He's a good lord.
Sworn to a man.
Whenever Field talks about his pitch, I want to go to.
All right, everyone has been able to ask each other questions. Now it's time for your final statements. This is going to be another 30-second limit. And this time, we will start with Dan.
Okay. Tenchu Divine Retribution's incredibly deep level creator and online lordly conquest mode will take advantage of the popularity of level creators and sharing things online nowadays. Not only is your level important to make interesting and new ideas, but you will literally design castles to protect your lord's ancient relics against other lords. And you can go fight other lords' castles to retrieve their relics, fighting for one of the 3 lords that are warring in the lordly conquest mode.
And that's time. Feel you're up whenever you're ready.
Senran Kagura, Divine Retribution will revive the Tenchu franchise and bring all of its mechanics back and present them to a new audience that never would have looked at the franchise otherwise. Unfortunately, during localization, they localized Tenchu into Divine Retribution, so none of those people will know it's a Tenchu game, but what are you gonna do?
My God.
All right, that's all the time you got. It's unfortunate those mistakes were made. I wish we could fix them, but it's too late.
All right, copyrighted it.
All right, KZ, whenever you want to go.
Tenchu Darkside will be the second chance for the Tenchu franchise to really make it. Combining itself with the brand of Naruto, you go through a wonderful adventure completing missions using a variety of weapons, sub-weapons, and an engrossing story from the shadows. This is a AAA game, 60 FPS, coming to PS4, Xbox One, Steam, and Stadia.
That's
it's about
time.
Growing up.
That's time. You know, bold of you to have it announced for consoles that will probably be long dead by the time that the game releases. But that's fine.
It'll get headlines.
Fair. All right. With all of that having been said, I'm going to need to deliberate over these for a bit. Give me just a moment. Need to go to my ninja cave and ninja think about this.
Don't forget your Ninja Liu Bei.
I won't be needing that. All right, now it's the part where I review each of your pitches. Dan's, your emphasis on a level creator and a bunch of physics elements in it all sound really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Your bizarre choice of villains is questionable, but that might be something we can work around. So that's, encouraging.
Yeah.
Let's see. Feels Senran Kagura, it's a franchise that's doing great. It's actually integrating in Tenchu. That's kind of exciting. We're just going to see some sort of crossover between the two franchises. Maybe this will revive Tenchu itself by being a Senran Kagura game in that universe. And hey, the mechanic of a kind of Senran Kagura game aren't that great anyway. They've done like squirt gun games and other junk. So why not make something that's trying to be a more legitimate ninja game?
Yeah.
And let's see here. KZ, Naruto is a fine franchise. Not as big as it used to be, but still plenty big.
It's still sizable. It'll get asses and seats.
It will. I'm a little worried that there doesn't seem to be any connection to the Tenchu franchise, thus kind of weakening the tie there. And then we have a title that is got Tenchu as the main. It's Tenchu Darkside, but it seems like it's just Naruto.
Oh, well, that's the entire thing. Your character's name is Tenchu.
Oh, okay. That feels. Does it? Good to know. I wouldn't have guessed that. Is his last name Darkside?
No, see, here's how it works, okay?
Oh, no, you can't say anymore.
Number one,
No.
you only learn that their name is Tenchu at the end, and then at the right before credits, he goes, "Welcome to the dark side," and then it cuts to credits. Great.
Okay. All right. We have learned many things during this final bit, but I've already chosen my winner. It's Dan, because he's the only one who didn't want to stab me with some other franchise.
What do you mean? You love that franchise. You own them all.
I don't own all of them.
Once again, another corrupt judge enters Armchair Devs.
Wow, I didn't think I could greenlight a video game nowadays by choosing an under-the-table developer and just not shitting my pants in the middle of the pitch meeting. This is a fucking victory for people everywhere. I assure you.
I made a legitimate video game, but because it had Naruto involved, he's like, no, it's disqualified.
I assure you that Tenchu Divine Retribution will make ninjas cool again.
Kizzy, look, your pitch is interesting. If this were for a Naruto game, I would be all for it. It's not, though. And this doesn't have any connection to Tenchu. You didn't even try to do that.
But we want people to buy this game.
Then why didn't you put Naruto in the title?
Right?
Why'd you attach
It doesn't work either way.
to the title?
Oh my god.
Why didn't you call it Boruto 2 Tenchu or something?
Okay, I'm gonna be real with you. That was the original title.
Oh no.
But I didn't feel like stabbing him in the intro.
Your pitch would have been a lot more.
And the episode.
Like a lot more better. Anyway, that's it. We're done.
What? No.
More better. I don't know. Come by next time where maybe I won't toast and go insane. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Armchair Devs. Podcasts like this and Big Think Dimension are only possible with viewer support. If you'd like to help us in the fight for good content, please show us your support over on patreon.com/gbpodcasts, where you can also listen to the extended pitches that couldn't make it into this episode. The spooky executive producers for the month of pre-October are Vincent Poverk, Nicholas Cameron, E. Lee Broyles, Star Falcon, Spaceman Spiff, Danny Richardson, Dryzard, Shadow in the Darkness, Red Blaze 27, and Third Birthday. Thank you very much to our pumpkin spiced executive producers. And also these guys. If you like this video and want to support us, then head on over to our prematurely haunted Patreon at patreon.com/GigaBoots and become an executive producer today.